Hello, hello. How is everybody today? I talked to Staijah today, but she's not here yet, so hopefully she shows up. But we're here for Shelf This Book Club, which is the book club that I organize. And then each month I pick a person or ask a person if they'd like to pick the book, and then we come and discuss. I do 3 months on and 1 month off, so this is the last live show of this set. So in October, we will have no book, and then in November, December, January, we'll be back on. So sometime in the next couple weeks, I'll post the announcement for the next grouping. I have already asked all those people, and I also do know the books that they have picked. So very shortly, I'll have the next Shelf This announcement out, but no book in October. I always get so confused what the months are. Hello, my friends are here. Hi, guys. Thanks for coming. I think not many people read the book this month, but we read The Reunion by Kayla Olson. This is a contemporary rom-com about basically these two people. I'm not sure how old they were in like the previous timeline when they were originally shooting. So it's an actor actress, and they were on this show together. I think they were probably in like their early 20s based on the conversations had through this book. I'm not sure if it was stated. If it was, I didn't pay enough attention. But they were on this show. They filmed this TV show back in the day, and um we're only getting the girl's perspective through this book. And so she had a crush on him through that time, thought nothing would ever come of it. And so they have kind of been disconnected for the years in between. And now they're finally going to be shooting like a reunion episode. So they are crossing paths again. And it's a romance, a little bit of a second chance romance situation. So this is going to be quick if it's just me sharing my thoughts. And I have a vlog coming out. With this book in it that's only like a 2-book vlog. So I guess Danielle, Lizzie, if you're still here, if you want to let me know if you had ever heard of this before Staijah picked it. Surprisingly, I'm a book of the month member, and I didn't remember seeing this, and usually I do keep an eye on like the romance ones that they choose, but this did not have that much hype. The ratings for it were not high. It was a January 2023 pick, but I'm always curious, like, when stuff like this comes across my plate that I've never heard of, like, is it just me? I will have comments about this because sometimes they do work for me and sometimes they don't. Had not heard of it. Okay, interesting. I'm curious how many ratings it had, but I know that the average rating was like 3.5, 3.6, somewhere in there, so fairly low. I was cautiously optimistic about this one. I have read more reality romance books that I've actually enjoyed than like actor actress, and I actually have a couple books come to mind when I think of like actress books that I actively disliked. I also didn't like is it You Had Me at Ola by Alexis Daria? Hopefully I'm thinking of the right book. Like, I actively didn't like that because they showed scenes from the show, and I just didn't care about that part. Thank you. I mean, so that's 13,000 ratings is not like absurdly low, but it's fairly low. With this one, I really just felt like I gave it 2 stars, 2.5 maybe generous, but it wasn't terrible. To me, what I say in my vlog is that I really felt like this book felt like an outline, and that I felt that way about books before. Like, it felt like it needed another go through to give everything a little bit of depth. Um, but with that being said, I thought the outline was good. It's just there's like Elsa said this too in the chat, like there's literally no connection to the characters, like not enough was built there for me to really care about what was going on. So the plot beats I didn't think were bad, but I can probably set this down. but it was just so surface level. And then, yeah, I don't know. I do not know. Also, it was fade to black, which is not necessarily for me. So like when we finally got to like the romance, I felt like disappointed in the follow through also. Yeah. Like not only was there like no character development, I feel like sometimes you could get away with like surface level characters if the steamy scenes are good. And then they also skipped that, so it was really hard. Literally just said I'm not a fade to black. I don't know, with romance specifically, I feel like a little bit of steam really could have added to this one because also the angst of like I've crushed on this person for so long, it would have been satisfying. It really would have been. But then so circling back to me feeling like it was an outline, I think in my vlog I also said that I wasn't sure if this was a debut. And then I found out that it isn't, but that she's mostly written like a different genre, which then really just made me not want to give the book credit. Like she's written a few books and is still writing this way. I don't know. I needed more. Yeah, when a romance book is just so sometimes I'm like at least the smut will be good. So if it's not, I'm like no thanks. I mean, yeah, that's kind of how I was feeling. Yeah, I had no pitter patter for this. I do think it's interesting because I feel like book of the month picks like decent thrillers and decent like more literary books, general fiction. Um and I feel like their romance usually flops. They've had a couple good romances throughout the year, but I feel like they're often picking ones that I feel similar to this about that are just like so and kind of playing it safe. I wish that Staijah was here because I do think I saw that she gave it 4 stars, but I do think that Elsa I saw gave it like only 2 or 3. So I think those were the only other 2 people who read it this month. So unfortunate that they didn't make it, but I don't know. I guess I'd be curious to Stasia if she did feel a connection. Also, I hate doing when I read the book too early. It's been about a week since I finished it now. So there's things that I forget, but I do remember that it's the main character's like best friend who finally is like he obviously liked you back in the like she's still having a lot of doubts because they're like kind of getting together and she's like I don't think he liked me back then, like he was dating another co-star, he was talking to this girl, and it's his like best friend that finally tells her like he was into you back then. And I kind of would have liked it to come from him. I also think this could have benefited from also having his POV. It's a really short book, so I feel like all these things I'm mentioning that could have been added, like there was space for it. Like there was space for her to go back through and add a little oomph to this. So, yeah. Those are kind of my thoughts. I don't have much else to say if nobody else who is here read the book, so this might be the shortest shelf this live show of all time, but that's my 10-minute review. Thanks for hearing it. Do we have any other housekeeping or good vibes? Something similar but better. Like I said, most of the ones I think of that are like reality TV, I liked better than actor actress. I mean, we all know I liked One to Watch, but I feel like it's been so long since I read that to like fully recommend it. That's like a bachelorette, a spin on the Bachelorette, but she's a plus size main character. And then I also liked the Allison Cochran one, and that's also Bachelor retelling where the Bachelor falls for a male producer. Is that right? I haven't read any of them recent enough to like really harp on them. But I feel like there's another TV one that I liked. Ooh, I just thought that one was okay. I didn't love that one. I did read that. And I also didn't like that that series was like each book was written by a different author. So I only ever read the first one because I thought it was just okay, which probably wasn't fair to the rest of them because they were going to be written by different people. But I think it's hard to structure a series that way. Yeah, boo, incorrect. But we all know I'm wrong about that one. What did you not like about that? I don't remember. I've hated all the other ones in the series so far. I'm giving the Rapunzel one a shot because it's Christina Lauren. I actually have not enjoyed that much Christina Lauren. Boring. It was not boring. I remember The Charm Offensive is like the one book that I've said that I was just like so much like I needed them to kiss. Like I never feel that way, but I was just like on edge needing it to finally happen. So I don't know how you could say that that's boring, offensive. I was going to say something else. Yeah, The Charm Offensive is good. Danielle's the problem. Oh, I was gonna say that I do really appreciate that. I think all 3 times now that Stasia has picked, she's picked a romance, and romance hardly gets picked for Shelf This, and we know I'm a romance girly, so I do think it's fun to sprinkle at least a little bit of romance into this. I do think for the pick and not being my favorite, it was like a nice fluffy time. At no point was I like, "Oh my gosh, I wanna DNF this." There's been some, like, more dense books that we've read for this book club that I've actively disliked and had to put so much more effort into finishing, so it was not terrible. Okay, but on that note, I think I'm just gonna wrap it up. That's my review. Those are my thoughts. Um, and I already said at the beginning that there's no book in October, but there will be shortly an announcement for November, December, January. We're heading dark. I can tell you that much. I think all 3 books, I don't think they're fluffy. I do not think they're fluffy. Uh, can you just tell us the next one today? Thanks. No, I can't because I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't even remember what order the 3 hosts are in. I'm chaotic. My brain is chaotic. Okay, I'm gonna go. Thanks for coming to Shelf This. Bye, love you.